Hello, world. Can you believe that this guy, this goofy looking guy, is President of the United States of America? Yeah, a lot of people around the world are shocked. He was no good the first time. Terrible, terrible results from the things that he did. And they stopped him from doing a lot of the really bad stuff. Now, there's nobody to stop him. Yes, he's going to get way too much of his way. What does it take for the American public to not vote for someone who says that he wants to be a dictator? Hmm. Just the first day. Well, it's been past the first day, and this guy, he's still after being a king. Oh, yes. Just blowing right past, the Congress like it's nothing. The Republicans are sitting on their hands. Yeah, they're scared. Seems like he's taken over the Republican Party, and we know that that Abraham Lincoln is definitely turning in his grave about this guy. It's unbelievable. He's a convicted felon. That didn't stop anybody from voting for him. No. His big supporter in the media was Fox News. Guess who was sued for not getting it wrong? Do that, but for lying in court. And Fox News lost. They lie, like it's breathing air. We've got a situation now where, well, they've gotten what they want, and it's no good for the economy. It isn't bringing down prices. He said, "Oh, he's going to bring down those prices." Yeah. Did he do that? Did he get Mexico to kneel to the king and build a wall for him? A wall for what? A wall against Mexico? Or against the United States, perhaps? That, by the way, sells guns to the drug cartels and buys all of the drugs, sells them right up here. But it's not a mutual problem, according to Trump. It's these people that are off color a little bit, his opinion. Not the same lovely color as you see him having up here. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but that's it ain't pretty. Yeah, he wishes, he's, the courts, he put in three justices, right? So it tipped the courts over to the crazy far right, right? Pretty much. So far, they've shown no backbone to stand up against a would-be dictator. Now, how far right can you go? No, he hasn't ordered the death of the Jewish people. No, but he's alienated all of our allies, and hmm, our enemies are laughing at us. This guy, okay, it's this guy, and okay, he's in office, so you blamed Biden as he tried to clean up the mess that this guy created, and blamed him for it. Yeah, okay. Well, it's his office that's in charge now, right? He's in charge. Did your prices go down? No. And Elon Musk, who's pulling the puppet strings, this guy, well, he's going to be sorry about that one. This guy has access, Elon Musk, because of this guy, he has access to all your personal information. Every bit of it. And in what trustworthy hands? A bunch of kids from 18 to 25, one of which was forgiven for saying things that only a Nazi would say, or a fascist, be more, perhaps. Guess who has? He didn't know who the leader of the Nazis were here in the United States. He didn't know who that was. Yeah, Bones. Yeah, but he has a copy and admitted he had a copy of Mein Kampf in his office. I was, I was going to burn a book, and I probably don't think any book should be burned, but because it says something, maybe it's terrible, maybe we can learn from it. But yeah, he's followed the playbook from that book. And he wants to burn, along with MAGA, he wants to burn a lot of other books, though. So, I don't know. Is there something wrong with the soul of the American people? Are we racist, fascist at the core? I don't think so. One thing you got to remember is that, yeah, he won an election. But if you were to get rid of all of the voter suppression in the states, he would have lost. We've studied it. He would have lost. Not only that, he had a slim plurality over Kamala Harris. Okay, a slim plurality, not even over 50% of the total vote. And only a third of the people here in the United States voted. That's not a mandate. When you don't even get 50% of a third of the people on your side, you don't have a mandate, do you? No, you don't. And this guy says he did. Yeah. While the Republicans sit on their hands with no real love for the country, seemingly, no love for the Constitution, no love for civil rights, rights for privacy. Remember? They were okay about giving all your information over to an unelected guy. Even some Republicans are speaking up about that. Let's see if they have the courage to move forward. The thing is like the Democrats have said that that they would lose in an upcoming election if they stood up to this guy. What about they will lose if they don't? What if there's a blue wave coming and these guys, you hearing me, Republicans, you in Congress, because you didn't vote to restrain this guy from traitorous acts against our country, you could lose your job for that. There might be an uprising in this country against MAGA and its hateful fear, divisiveness. Aren't you tired of it? Well, the first thing you want to do if you want to get people to believe a lie or a bunch of lies is to put out so many lies that it gets confusing, right? You get people looking this way, look that way. Don't look at don't look at what I'm doing. Well, take a good look at what he's doing. He didn't know anything about 2025. Now you know you didn't like 2025. He knew the American people didn't like that. So he said, no problem for him. He lied. He said, no, I don't even really know what's in that. I don't know. No, I'm not for that. Now he's doing it. Every little bit of it. And people aren't paying attention. Well, you didn't pay attention and you got fooled by this guy. Well, shame on him. But if you keep being fooled by him and by his yes men in the Republican Party, shame on you. Until next time, please study. Check out the Midas Touch channel. They're telling the truth. Yeah, better than the mainstream media. They just want a horse race and they want everything to go along smoothly. So they didn't go after this guy. Well, they're bought, aren't they? Yeah, they're owned by very rich people who would like to run the government all by themselves without intervention. Be able to fire you they send you out the door like you're an extra office machine they don't need instead of a trading partner, which you are, that they made promises to. But you don't even have a contract, do you? Because you don't have a union. Guess who's against unions? This guy. You want freedom? How about freedom from the rich? Not, just treating you like a piece of office furniture that can be thrown away. Instead of a trading partner that can organize just the way this guy and his rich friends do all the time. Yeah. Part of freedom is standing up for your own self. You're a trading partner, not some kind of slave, not a piece of office furniture that is a cost to business. Well, guess what? Some businesses are a cost to the American people and to you. Your boss is a cost to you just as you're a cost to him. Any benefit that's going on in there needs to be agreed upon, and contracts need to be signed and honored. Guess who did not honor enough? His subcontractor helped him create failed businesses. This guy. This guy. Guess what his friends in business said about him? Hmm? Well, he's really not a good businessman. He's a good showman. When you put those two together, doesn't that look a lot like a con man? Now, Elon Musk, he's sitting back and just laughing. You know, the first thing you know when you've got somebody cornered in a lie is they try to laugh and say, oh, that's nothing. Or they say, everybody does it. You know, you got them. You know, they've lost the argument. They just haven't admitted it yet. And they probably never will. But you know what's going on, don't you? Even if you voted MAGA, by now you know what's going on, don't you? You see the rich want to have you like pets and slaves. You see that, right? Just an extra piece of furniture. This guy and Elon Musk were caught laughing about doing something illegal, which was to fire striking workers. Oh my gosh. This reminds me of the police always voting, so often voting Republican. The ones who do something for the police and the fire and all these folks are Democrats. Okay? Republicans talk a good game. But look at what they really do. They're against unions. I had talked to one police officer and over in Texas. I says, "You guys have a union, don't you?" He says, "No, they take care of us." I'm going, "Well, what are you going to do when they don't? You're trading partners, whoever you are. Stand up for each other. Do sympathy strikes. Have some spirit. Have some American spirit. I mean, we didn't start this country by backing down to a king or any would be king. Yeah, we were a little bit of an oligarchy in the beginning, but we're better than that. Women can vote now. Hear me, ladies? You want to go back in time? That's what you get with the Republican Party. 2025, losing your rights. Maybe they'll decide that women should stay home and not vote. That's how the founding fathers put it together, isn't that right? You really want to go back? Is that greatness? Greatness is never going back, it's going forward with improvement. There was something wrong in the get go with making America great again. Don't you understand? They're saying to you that we're not great now. Oh boy, that's going to make Xi Jinping and Putin really happy. We start considering ourselves not great. Well, we are great. And so, oh, we're in debt. That debt is these are investments in our future. And guess who you trust to allow someone to be in debt to you? Who do you trust? The weak country or the strong one? That is a displayed trust in the American economy and governance. Where is that trust going to go? You start attacking your own allies. You know, understand, this guy isn't against our enemies. He wants to be like them. He's praised autocrats before. What does it take for America to wake up? And, we've given way too many privileges to the executive branch. Way too many. It was, well, we were coming off of a king, so any improvements were great, huh? But it was still a little too much like a now it's coming around to bite us. Yeah, yeah, it is. Some of the things this guy does is because it was enshrined in the Constitution. But we need to hold this country together. We need to resist that overstep. And that, how do you do that? Well, if he goes about trying to fire FBI, CIA, people in the military, he already has. Yeah, he has. Yeah, already fired a high-ranking officer. So already fired her. Come on, who's your buddy? Not this guy. Not this guy. He lies to you. He made his money off bankruptcies. Elon Musk made his money off of the military industrial complex, which Eisenhower, pretty good president from the Republican side, called the Iron Triangle. Just look out for that. Well, if you're looking for waste and fraud, that's where you look. That's not where they're looking. They're looking at your benefits. Who's doing that? Unelected Elon and this guy. So I don't want to go on and on and on. Tune into the Midas Touch. They'll they'll fill you in even more. But please subscribe to this channel. We're trying to be the resistance too. But we also believe that is the power of empathy that holds us together, and forms of empathy that give us virtue. Objective empathy gives us truth. It's the kind of empathy, a feeling for the other person, um, but delivering truth, like a counselor, right? Gives us truth. We get the virtue of truth, the virtue of goodness from compassion. Passion is what allows you to feel safe to express your real needs and feelings. From that, we get goodness, passionate response to real human needs, which this guy is against. And there needs to be an artfulness to our compassion, looking at things from a lot of different perspectives and putting together creative, workables, and with useful visions of how things are and how things might be. This artfulness is not demonstrated by this guy, nor by Elon. He made his money off of the most wasteful spending that we do. And it's not the military doing the wasteful. It's businesses, right? Charging, thousands of dollars for a hammer any way they can get that extra boost of power. That kind of greediness, the MAGA says they follow Jesus. Jesus was against greed. He wasn't about worshiping wealth. He said the real wealth was what? Love. Doing what's right. Doing what's virtuous. We believe that empathy is cornerstone, solid rock is built. And empathy, it develops slowly, takes a bit, especially to develop the forms of empathy talked about. Before we develop those things, we're kind of childish. So let's take a look at that little Trump. See that little picture down there? That's Trump, little Trump. That's where he's coming from. Even the Brits saw that. They had a first time he ran, he won. They had pictures of him in a big balloon of him with a diaper on. They saw it. You can't see that. Little Trump, he's pretty much in charge. Yeah. He isn't showing a great deal of empathy, you know. But even little kids start to develop sophisticated empathy. And at least, well, but it isn't sufficient. I mean, one baby cries, they all cry, and they're sharing each other's feelings. But it takes a little more. Just that. Need that. And, but he isn't even displaying very much of that. Does he weep for you? No, he weeps when he doesn't get his way. This guy, this little guy who's basically in charge. Basically in charge. So, how does empathy work with that? Well, we're not into punishment, we're into healing minds. But we need to protect democracy. We need to fight for it. And even though if you love dogs, a mad dog coming at you trying to get your kids, you might have to shoot him. Hopefully with a tranquilizer gun. And if you can get away without, that is a but tranquilizer gun, I would go with that. Treat the poor animal. Can't fix him. Don't put him back on the street to bite people. So, he a mad dog? He's a human being. We are geared to love other human beings, I think. It takes quite a bit to change us into an evil monster, I think. A lot of trauma in life, perhaps damaged faith and love. And, poor Trump, he probably has had that. But he doesn't need to be president. And if he's going to stir up trouble all the time, then, you have to isolate him from his ability to do that. I would suggest a treatment center for the criminally insane. Yeah, that would be a good. Yeah, that'd be a very good. But you don't want to act like China and Russia, and everybody that disagrees with you is insane. But that's how he talks. This guy. If you disagree with him, then, oh, wow, he's got all kinds of childish names that he will call you. Name calling. Really? Just like a little kid, huh? Name calling. Here I am, Four Eyes. Yeah, well, we grow out of that, hopefully. But who didn't grow out of that kind of name calling and that kind of silliness? This guy. This guy right here. This guy right here. So, you know, no, we're not a hate. We don't hate anybody. Want to save everybody. Want to avoid violence at all costs. Don't want to turn on each other. But we would like to wake up some of you. Or to wake yet. Because this guy is not on your side. Never has been. Never will be, it seems. Now, if he has a flash from heaven, starts to act like a mature, caring human being, wow, how wonderful. But in the meantime, don't let him put into law what he finds. Hold him back. You know, again, Republican Congress, don't think you'll be unelected by standing up against this guy. You might lose your office because of not standing up to this guy. Okay? Please understand that. Nothing that I've said here should be taken to incite anybody with a fragile mind to do something wrong. The last thing we need is for people to shooting at this guy. You know, that isn't the way. That isn't our way. This is this is not the way of decent human being. You know, you know, you put him in prison. Yeah, if you can remove these ridiculous rules that hold this guy and any president above the law, yeah, you could do that. But even in prison, they're not well. Don't let them go. But if you change their hearts and help them once they get outside, not to go back to what they were doing before, go. Maybe watch them for a while. Let them go. We have more people in prison than China. And even the media, they're talking about, oh, they will go as far as to say there's no more crime committed by the undocumented than the people here. No, the facts are they commit less crime. And the reason they commit less crime is they don't want to end up being sent back. You came up here fleeing abject poverty, misery, and help send food back to their mom, relatives, or their kids. I think we can be kind of proud of our undocumented because they are the ones who give you breakfast in the morning. They work really hard without any of the benefits you and I get. No, they pay taxes. They pay taxes. They never get any benefit. They work for low wages. You see their children working side by side, fields and cannons. Wow. Does that sound like a Christian? No, but that's what we're doing. And then on top of it, what a frighten. Chase them out of the country. Well, there was a movie, A Day Without a Mexican. Pretty funny. And that is not something you want to see. Whole businesses are going to collapse if he gets this guy. They're not breaking any laws, and they're here. I'm gonna quibble over a line in the sand. It wouldn't have been there if we hadn't, according to our own bias, own President Grant. And just another example of a powerful nation stealing land. Yeah, well, that's kind of how that went. The Texans say, well, we were invited here. When you weren't invited, you kept coming. You said it's ours. Stole it. Okay. Then you were unkind to the people that fought on your side? Hmm. Well, I don't think we'll ever know for sure if they're God or not. But if there's a just one, I hope there is one. I wouldn't want to stand before that being and say, well, because their ear wasn't shaped just fine. They had this belief system. Their nose didn't look like mine, and their skin tone. Yeah. Hmm. I seem to remember that at the last judgment, Jesus divided up. And of course, I don't believe goats, but that was the vernacular at the time. Not perfect. So the good guys, he says, hey, welcome on into heaven. Because you saw me hungry, saw me without clothes, you helped me out. When I was in prison, you came and visited. And they didn't even know who he was. In the story, they didn't know. He said, when did we see you? And, what were you talking about? Is when you did it, least of the other side didn't. They said, when did we see you and not do these? Didn't do. So we have a question for this guy. You hold up a Bible upside down. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, maybe that was a special kind of respect. But okay. He says he's all about Jesus. He can't name one verse out of the Bible that is his favorite verse. Oh, they're all good. he he never even read it, and most happened. You know, they did. They wouldn't like some of it, but same with most of the books. But yeah, there's some really good stuff in all of the holy books. This guy's not following any of them, so No matter what your religion or lack of thereof. This guy is not on your side. Okay. Well, I guess that's all I've got to say for. But please try and remember that any act of kindness that you do is already a blessing, even if the other person does not wasteful. Make sure that everybody, child, not wasteful. You spend money to ease last days or people in the country growing up like me. Not, not bad. There was, I've seen Trump supporters do kind things. Wow. I would like to tell them, educate yourselves and do something kind for you. It's great and you're getting a blessing. Do something for yourself. Oppose this guy. Be the resistance against hate. Until next time, remember, you don't just live in a world of wonder, you're part of it. So go and vote wrong no more.